I mean, but look, but the reality of society changes. You could say evolves, you could say devolves, you could say, however you say it, but it does change.
I think that people feel the way they always felt. They just are afraid to have those conversations out loud. They are just as hateful, just as homophobic, just as racist, just as misogynistic. They just pretend to.
I don't know about that. I think that if you're in an environment where certain things are considered normal and even encouraged, that might make you form a level of opinion based on fitting into a group.
Right.
I don't think anyone's born hateful. I don't think anyone's born racist. I don't think so.
I don't think they are either.
Look at kids. Go to any schoolyard and you look at kindergarten kids. They're all playing with each other. Right. Asian kids, Spanish kids, black kids, white kids. As they get older, the segmentation starts to happen.
I will make that I'll tell you, I'll give you this caveat. They play with each other at school. They'll try to go home with one of them. I don't care how young you are.
Now you're talking about adults, though.
Yeah, but the
adults might have a problem with it. The kids themselves don't have a problem with it.
But the kids pick up on. Kids don't do what you say. They do what you do.
Exactly.
So even before you've told them anything, like I hate when people go, "I wasn't raised that way." Motherfucker, yes, you were.
Right.
You were raised that way.
Yeah.
And now you're saying this thing by rote because it's what you say. We tell our children what to do by what we do, not by what we say.
Right.
And if we said enough of these things if I can learn a different language as two, I can learn the language of bigotry, misogyny, racism at two.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is that you have jokes. You go back to like the Eddie Murphys. You go back to jokes in the 80s where they're using the F word. There's lots of gay jokes.
Right.
There's lots of trans jokes and everything else like that. You go back to the 60s and 70s, there's probably a lot of racist jokes.
Sure.
By white comedians. They're considered funny and acceptable, and maybe even black audiences might have even laughed along because that was considered like not a big deal and so forth. They don't translate into 2022.
No, because we've learned to listen with a different ear. It doesn't mean, if you want to know how people really feel about something, go to their social media pages when they don't have their name under it. Go watch them go under their avatar when they're speaking, just and nobody knows who they are under the cloak of anonymity, and see that's America right there.
Yeah,
I've always said, get away with.
No, listen, I've always said that you should not have anonymous social media accounts.
Right.
I feel they should be illegal.
Me too.
Illegal, meaning that you could get fined or possibly even jailed for having it, because I never had the luxury of being anonymous.
No.
I was already a known DJ when MySpace launched, so I've always had to watch my mouth. I've always...
But okay, here's the thing. I don't think white people should be able to obscure your view in any way. I don't think they should be behind curtains. I don't think they should have blinds. I don't think that they should have, because if you look at the people who are making the decisions and the rules and the norms, they are people who pretend to be one way in public and another way in private. I think that when you get to vote on the jury without nobody knowing why, there's a certain effect. When you get to make a vote cast a ballot, nobody knows why or how, and you don't have each other. We count on anonymity driving this idea of bigotry and separation forward. We need darkness to do it.
Right.
We need darkness to do it. And I say, my mother told me something one time. She said, well, you can do whatever you want as long as the door open. Whatever I want to do. Do you know how hard it is to try to get you some ass when your mother's walking by? But whatever you can do with the doors open. And I think that if we're that a society that we constantly talk about transparency, we constantly talk about being open, but we do everything in the dark. I think that it's antithetical to the idea. I think people should be allowed to be what they are. I don't think racists should not be able to eat. I don't think they should be police officers or judges or bankers. Mm-hmm. I don't think they should be in any position where they can get to control somebody's life or liberty or circumstance because of their idiosyncrasy. I don't think that should happen. But I don't think they should die. I don't think they should be not. I just think that they should be used car salesmen, or you could be fucking Amazon, whatever you got to be. It just can't be where you can
janitors,
right? Whatever, yeah. But you can't have a.
There's Bob the racist janitor again.
Whatever, niggas
yelling at all the black kids as he's sleeping.
But I just don't think you should be. I don't. Yeah. There he goes.
There he goes again.
Speaking Spanish. I don't think you should. I think you should be able to. I think that you shouldn't have. There's certain positions that your perspective should disqualify you from. In medicine, in corporate situations. Like if it's your company, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But if you get get some kind of subsidy or even a benefit or a tax break from the government, that's our company. And you got to act accordingly.
Yeah. Yep.